Hi, welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV. It's time for the Mondo Goal Fantasy Forfeit Challenge. Now, first of all, just before I get into the scores from last week, don't forget you can enter the 1 million, the perfect million free roll. We can win up to £1 million, so make sure you get entering that. Free to enter. Links are below. Let's get into the scores now from last week. In third place, with an absolutely terrible 57.18 points, was Redmen TV. That's low. Second place with 58.33 points was Ball Street, which means I'm back, baby. In first place, Arsenal Fan TV, 87.88 points. Miles ahead, which means overall now, in the league, this is how it's looking. In first, well, let me run from third place. Third place, Ball Street, 396.24 points. Second place, Ball Street, 421.33. And in first place, Arsenal Fan TV. I came from third with my great scoring last week to take first place at the moment with 422.4 points. So it just goes to show, a bit like the game at the weekend. Just because you see a team ahead by a few points doesn't mean the other team can't come back at them, which is exactly what's going to happen to Leicester this weekend, which is exactly what's going to happen to Redmen TV and Ball Street, because this is the final week of the forfeit. Whoever comes last, or whoever gets a really appalling result this week, is going to end up doing a forfeit. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to make sure it ain't me. But I've got a nice little lead now. What's that? What's that lead there? That's a nice little lead of nearly 30 points. So that's not looking bad. Right. Let's get into the team for this week. You know what? First of all, just before I forget, Flav from Ball Street. So useless at doing the Mondo Goal Challenge that he had to get a dog in. Yeah, a dog to help him to choose his team, and the dog did better than him. So what does that tell you about Flav? Anyway, listen, let's get into the team for this week. Now, in goal, and again, I'm going pretty heavy with one particular team this week, and that's Chelsea. By the way, it's a Saturday league this week, so it doesn't involve Arsenal, Leicester, Spurs, Man United. It's only the games that's being played on Saturday that are relevant to the league. So I'm looking at it and I'm seeing that Chelsea are playing Newcastle. Even though Newcastle got a decent record against Chelsea, I think at home they're going to be too strong for Newcastle. Well, at least that's what I'm hoping. I'm kind of banking a lot of what I've picked on that. So in goal, I've gone pretty expensive. Thibaut Courtois, 8.2 million. At the back, Ryan Bertrand, 8.5 million. Scott DANN, Crystal Palace, 7.9 million. And Glenn Johnson, 7.8 million for Stoke. In the midfield, I've gone Willian, who's been playing really well this season, 10.4 million. Aaron Lennon. Now, you know I don't normally pick Spurs players, but don't panic. As you know, he plays now for Everton, and he's been playing pretty well recently. I think a bargain at 7.2 million. Cesc Fabregas, 11.3 million. And Wilfried Zaha, 7.4 million. And up front, pretty strong front three. Benny Kafobi. Met him last week down here in Bournemouth. Nice guy. Up until that game, he'd been banging in the goals for Bournemouth. I fancy him to get one this weekend. He's pretty frustrated last weekend. 10.6 million. Diego Costa at 8.6 million, who's on a good run of form at the moment. And Romelu Lukaku at 10.1 million. I fancy one of them to get me a couple of goals for my Mondo Goals team this week. So that's my team. Whoever loses this weekend and comes last is going to have to do a forfeit. A forfeit of my choosing. At the moment, I'm in the lead. I just want to put a decent score in so I win this thing. I have got such a good forfeit lined up. I really can't afford to lose. I've got to bring home the bacon this week. If I do that, you're going to see next week and you're going to enjoy a forfeit. Not as much as I'm going to enjoy it, because I still got memories of the last forfeit where they hit me up, you know, with those paintballs. I haven't forgotten that. I ain't forgotten. So keep it tuned here and watch what the results are going to be. But if I win this thing, I'd say no more. Check it out. Here are 10 reasons why Arsenal can still win the Premier League. Number 10, we've got Petr Cech in goal. We've got a brilliant goalkeeper, a world-class goalkeeper.